If I could disconnect my jaw, I'd swallow you whole. You could live inside my stomach, you could call me home. If I could disconnect my jaw, I'd swallow you whole. You could live inside my stomach, you could call me home. Now once upon a time there lived a mime with a maiden who was blind as a vampire bat with a case of rabies. She could never decide the type of flavor that she was craving, and every time he showed up with the wrong kind, she'd start complaining. But he was the type of guy who was always up to try her patience. He was flagrant, like a vagrant, busy blowing lines in the basement. His temperament was caving, expecting her to read his face and then stomping around the place so that she'd have something to chase. It was a crazy love, the type that scrapes and scratches you up, where every clash and battle results in a flash of passion and lust. But when the sweat dries and the head's clear, the hearts beat less severe. And that's when those questions and doubts come back around to stoke your fears. And those old cuts open back up and start the familiar singing, telling you to get up and get out and retreat for your own protection. But the fact is that what you're feeling is probably about as real as you'll find. But a love that big's gonna eat you up, so it's better off left behind. If I could disconnect my jaw, I'd swallow you whole. You could live inside my stomach, you could call me home. If I could disconnect my jaw, I'd swallow you whole. You could live inside my stomach, you could call me home. Now don't get nasty, don't say it unless you mean it. After everything we've been through, slaughtered goblins and the demons, all the nights that we were screaming back and forth instead of dreaming, the clashes and the bruises, all the battles and the pieces picked up off the floor and reassembled carefully and glued in place, painted over cracks and acting normal like it's warm and safe. But there's a storm brewing, clouds gathered in the back of your baby blues, and there's nothing I can do. I'm touching you, but I ain't feeling you. It seems we've eaten through everything that's sweet, and all that's left is bone and gristle. Am I alone in this condition, this suspicion something's out of whack? Pitching sticks and stones while we still living in a house of glass. And that sour mass that I raised up and then I smashed up against the wall, and all those pretty little paintings you gradually gave me a slash and you burned them up. Was it worth it to purchase a peek at the verdict, to finding it perfect and leaping the furnace, and the heat didn't burn us, sleeping in a bed of venomous promises and vendettas? If I could disconnect my jaw, I'd swallow you whole. You could live inside my stomach, you could call me home. If I could disconnect my jaw, I'd swallow you whole. You could live inside my stomach, you could call me home. If I could disconnect my jaw,